What's up, everybody? Oop, hold on, let me turn that down. All right, what's up, everybody? If you're here, you're early. Thank you. I'm setting up some stream stuff, and we'll get kicked off here in a minute or two. We'll see. Stand by. All right. All right. All right. Ooh, gotta fix my mic real quick. My mic stand's all messed up. Who did this? Who did this? Who's been in here? Nah, just kidding. Nobody's been in here. It's just me. Okay. That's loose. Don't like that. All right. Cool, cool. All right, man. I think we're all set up. The stream is up. I've linked the stream to the Instagrams, to the Twitters. Here we go. I think we're getting started. This is a story called I Was Recruited to Work on an AI and It Knew More Than We Intended. Ooh, man, spooky, spooky, spooky. This video will eventually be used as a collaboration submission. I've got a few collabs lined up, and this one will be one of them. So I don't think this video or this story will be on my channel, but it's all good. It'll end up on either, well, I don't want to say yet, but you'll know when it's out. It's all good. All right. I'm going to switch over. And we're going to start and record, dudes. There we go. Bye. Bye. All right. If you're a narrator or a VO person, then you probably have your own version of bah. But it's just my signal test, man. Some people go, mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2, but I've got mine mostly dialed in for the most part. So mine shifted eventually from mic check 1, 2, 1, 2 to what it is today. It's just bah. That gives me the information that I need to make sure that I'm getting signal and it's coming in, at a good volume. Oh, cool. My own phone notified me that I am live right now. Cool. Good thing I knew already. All right. If you're new or if you just don't pay attention, almost every single one of my stories begins with, all right, so check this out. And the reason for that is because I don't want to be like this, this gloom and doom grim reaper reading you a story or whatever. And I don't want to sound like I don't know, a low light AM radio host that's trying to lull you to sleep. I just want to be like a buddy, you know what I mean? Like you went away on vacation for a week, a bunch of stuff happened, and now I'm stoked to tell you about all the things that went down while you were gone. That's the vibe that I think I just naturally bring with me, and that's the vibe that ends up coming across in the narrations. I hope. I don't know. We'll see. As Lady Spookaria would say, taking a sippy sip. Yeah, I'm never going to say that out loud again. Okay. She can have that one. Oh, MCT in the house. I think, man, cool. I love seeing your name pop up, MCT. Welcome. In case you missed anything, I'm recording a story that will eventually become a collaboration submission. I don't know. It's all good. Pulling it back into my phone. All right, I've got the script up. Oh, this story begins in such a weird way. My all right, so check this out line is not going to flow very good. Let's just try it anyway. All right. All right. So, check this out. Hello. This is a pre-recorded message from Gary Richards. Please press 1 to play. I think I could do that better. Hello. This is a pre-recorded message from Gary Richards. Please press 1 to play. Hey, Mr. Greensburg, we have confirmation that you've been selected for a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to explore the inner walls of our newest lab. I'm sure you were filled in on what exactly all of us will be working on in the near future. If not, just know that it has something to do with Alice. Have a good one, Nick. Can't wait to hear from you. That was the voicemail on my phone from Garrett Richards. He's one of the top software engineers at MIT. I knew him since freshman year of college. We were both in the IT field, but man, was he smarter than me. He got a full ride to MIT through his crazy robot that could climb up stairs that he developed and engineered in high school. This kid had to be a genius from out of the womb. Anyways, that phone call was about a program that's still in the dark, away from the public. They introduced it as an artificial intelligence startup. The goal was to design a program that could answer every question mankind threw at it. Awkward pause, because I lost my space. It would have more information than any search engine combined. Look at it this way. If I gave you $1 million in cash and placed all of it in front of you, then say every dollar there divides up into pennies, and what the hell? Starting that paragraph over. If I gave you $1 million in cash and placed all of it in front of you, then say every dollar there divides up into pennies, and that's the amount of information that Alice had. Take the dark web, every search engine, every piece of information on this earth. I wasn't told this before it was too late. I wasn't told this before it was too late. Alright, that's enough of a pass for now. Gonna hit the edit buttons real quick.
Hello, this is a... I think I could do that better.
See which one's better.
Hello, this is a pre-recorded message from Gary Richards. Please press 1 to play. I think I could do... Hello, this is a pre-recorded message from Gary Richards. Please press 1 to play.
Yeah, that second one was much better, I think.
Please press 1 to play.
Beep.
Hey, Mr. Greensburg, we have confirmation that we were both in the MI. I knew him since freshman year of college. We were both in the MI. We were both... Man, was he smarter than me. He got a freshman year of college. We were both in the MIT.
Yeah, editing, man.
I knew him since freshman year of college. We were both in the IT field, but man, was he smarter than me. Pause, because I lost my space. It would have more question mankind threw at it. It would have more information than any search engine combined. Look at it this way. If I gave you $1 million and placed all of it in front of you, then say, turning that paragraph over. If I gave you $1 million in cash and placed all combined, look at it this way. If I gave you $1 million...
Anyone else have kids? Also, anyone else have the Puppy Dog Pals theme song in their head 24/7? Because it's actually, like, super awesome.
Then say, every dollar there divides up into pennies. I wasn't told this before it was too late. I wasn't told this. It's too late.
All right. Two weeks before. 2 weeks before accepting the job offer from Gary, I put my phone... Okay, yeah, let's do it like that. Oop. Oop, oop, oop.
Wasn't told this before it was too late.
2 weeks before accepting the job offer from Gary, I put my phone back into my pocket. Yes, Gary runs the team. Otherwise, I wouldn't... What the hell? After accepting my phone... Okay.
I wasn't told this before it was too late.
2 weeks before. After accepting the job offer from Gary, I put my phone back into my pocket. Yes, Gary runs the team. Otherwise, I wouldn't accept the invite. The location of the lab was classified. He sent me a link with a plane ticket, which was for tonight at 10. A few hours later, I packed my bags and locked my doors up to head to the airport. After getting out of the Uber, which took a half hour, I stretched my legs. I stretched my legs, and I grabbed the nearest airport employee to ask them a question. Excuse me, do you know where Terminal Class A is? Of course, it's right down those stairs to the right. He gestured to take me there, but I reassured him I was okay. I walked down the stairs for my eyes to meet up with a sign saying, Class A Terminal. I walked over toward the attendee taking care of the tickets, and I reached my phone out and had a barcode to scan. I think that's enough of a passage for now. Oop. Oh shoot. Rose Black, thank you for spreading the stream. Whoa, that's awesome. Awesome. So cool. I appreciate it. If I didn't stream at like literally midnight my time, maybe more people would be able to jump in and have some fun. It's all good though. This is like the only time I can do it.
Stretched my legs. I grabbed. I stretched my legs and I grabbed. I stretched my legs. I grabbed.
Huh. Inflection. If you guys can hear me okay, let me know in the chat. Got a different, not a different mic set up, but like I'm just, retesting the levels on everything and making sure that that you're hearing me fine. Also, I'm curious, when I hit play in my software, do you hear like the actual audio, or do you just hear like the audio coming out of my speakers into the microphone? Let me know.
Do you know where Terminal Class A is? He gestured. Oh. He gestured to take me there, but down the stairs for my eyes to meet up with a sign saying, Class A Terminal. I walked over toward the attendee taking care of the tickets, and I reached my phone out and had a barcode to scan. The tickets. I reached my phone out, which had a barcode to scan.
Boom. Hey, Rose Black, no problem. You good? Thank you. Again. Cool. Rose, if you're still here, if it's, first of all, am I pronouncing that right? Let me know. And if it's cool that I announce which of your stories I'm reading soon, let me know if that's cool too. I don't want to I don't know. I know the damn story's a year old, but all good. Okay, Rose Black says, when I hit play in the software, you get to hear the speakers making sound going to the microphone. All good. Just curious.
I reached my phone out, which had a barcode to scan.
All right. Boom. Cool. Thanks, Rose. All right, so check this out. If you're watching the replay or if you're here, Rose wrote a badass series called My Friends Got Me Cursed. I just finished reading it like recreationally a few days ago, and I'm going to narrate it on the channel, man. It's going to be cool. It'll be popping up probably in October, to be honest. I've got a bunch of stuff to finish and present until then, but yeah, probably October, realistically. Damn. That's far away and not far away at all at the same time. Cool. Flipping back to the script.
I reached my phone out, which had a barcode to scan.
Here you are. I have a carry-on, so no worries about weighing my bag. Okie dokie. Just let me print out a label for your carry-on then. It'll only be a moment, sir. Okay. Take your time. After he was finished with printing the label out, I walked up the stairs to get to security. This was fairly easy because someone gained my attention by waving me over. I walked over towards the woman waving me over. Hi there. Are you Mr. Greensburg? I chuckled out of surprise and I told her, yeah, that would be me. I reached my hand out to meet hers. We made eye contact, and I quickly read her name tag. It said Sarah. I'm Sarah. I'll be showing you to your aircraft. Follow me. We went through this door after she scanned her keycard, bypassing the long-dreaded lines of security. We began to divert away from the majority of the people when I asked, could I ask exactly where we're going, Sarah? She turned around, replying, of course. Your flight is scheduled to leave in Hangar 1 at 10 p.m. I glanced at her with a confused face. What do you mean by Hangar 1? Well, all private flights are stationed in our hangars. I'll be driving you over there. As she said this, we entered another door, but this time it proceeded outside in the dark, cold air. We got onto this tiny golf cart, which couldn't have driven faster than maybe 20 miles an hour. And after driving across the tarmac, we were heading towards Hangar 1 with lights coming out of it. When we arrived in the hangar, I was greeted with one... Oh, shit. When we arrived in the hangar, I was greeted with my best friend Gary and his assistant, I'm assuming. I ran up to him, greeting him with a hug, and we exchanged conversation. "It's so great to see you. What made you decide to fly private?" I said. "It's the company's jet, not mine." We all laughed. "This is my assistant, Grace." I shook her hand, and Gary said to us both, "Let's get on the jet now. We got extraordinary work waiting for us." All right, that's enough of a passage for now. Gonna hit some edit buttons real quick.
Be a moment, sir. Okay, take your time. After he was finished, I walked up the stairs to get to security. This was fair. Hi there. Are you Mr. Green?
Hi there. Are you Mr. Green? Cool. My lady voice is not awesome. Sorry.
When we arrived in the hangar...
Oh, sorry. Puppy dog pals again. Sorry.
With lights coming out of it. When we arrived in the... I ran up to him, greeting him with a hug, and we exchanged... "So great to see you. What made you decide to fly private?" I said. "It's the company." That's...
Okay, cool. If you're listening and you're wondering what the heck that sound is, that's my mouth. Sorry, I don't know how else to say it. That's like a note to myself. If I make a mistake, instead of stopping recording, going back, deleting, picking up from where I left off, blah, blah, blah. If I make a mistake while I'm actually recording, and I know I'll nail it on the second one, I'll just make that sound. And what that does is that presents this big... I'll show you. So if you're watching the waveforms on the screen right now, that's what it looks like when I'm talking. And if I make a mistake, I just hit that sound, and it makes this super loud thing. I don't know what to call it, but yeah, you see it right here. So when I go back and I edit, and I go to edit everything, I just find those big vertical peaks. Those are my edit sounds, and all I do is I just find the part I messed up on, drag it back over, and blah, blah, blah. Some professional voice-over artists and like voice actors and stuff, they have like this mechanical handheld thing. It's like a dog clicker. If you click it, it goes... But I don't know. I use the free version of that. Cool. Rose Black says, "My Halloween festivities have been going on since the beginning of the month." Oh, dude, awesome. I noticed your Twitter name was, Come On Halloween. I feel the same way for most of the year. I've been almost nonstop listening to creepypastas. I don't mind if you've heard... I don't know if you've heard Cryptid's Roost, but he has like a metric. Oh, a metric. What do you mean by that, Rose? First of all, I haven't heard of Cryptid's Roost. And I don't know what a metric is in this context. Do you mean like a metronome? Tell me more. I'm curious. I'm going to flip back to the script so I can read a little bit more. Just replying to a message real quick. Cool. Rose Black says, "Chat hasn't caught up." All right. No sweat. Flipping back over to the script so I can continue reading. Also, for the record, I've not actually read this story before. Sometimes I'll read the story first. Sometimes I won't before I hit record. So sometimes it's an exercise of like, can I nail it on the first try? Which is exciting and nervous and, a little bit nerve-wracking, especially when you're doing it live right now. And sometimes it's a lot more rehearsed because I've read it a couple times before, and I remember where to put the cadence stops and where to put my breaths and whatever else. But yeah, just FYI, dude. I've not actually read the story yet, but we out here. Sip.
Assistant Grace. I shook her hand, and Gary said to us both, "Let's get on the jet now. We got extraordinary work waiting for us."
Gary, Grace, and I already right away. Messed up. Gary, Grace, and I all walked up the tiny steps of this multi-million-dollar private jet where we were greeted with the attendant of the flight. She offered us all some champagne, and with a drink in our hands, we clicked... Nah. She offered us all some champagne, and with a drink in our hands, we clinked the soft edges of the crystal glass together, celebrating Alice for the first time. Cheers to Alice, with many more to come. During the flight, it was mostly partying, with a few discussions about the project. I currently had no clue where we were going, but the anticipation of seeing the lab for the first time grew in me. We landed a few hours later on this tiny airstrip. The temperature of the air decreased and was now very cold outside. I'm assuming we were somewhere in the mountains because of the temperature and the thick air. We were definitely elevated a good amount. And we were surrounded by vegetation. There was a black SUV waiting for us to land. Gary was greeted by the driver of the car, and we all got in. We had to be driving for hours through the forest until we finally arrived. The long-awaited secret... Whenever I see the word laboratory, I want to go back to like 6th grade watching Dexter's Lab and just call it laboratory. I gotta stop that. The long-awaited secret laboratory that we would be engineering the smartest What the hell? The long-awaited secret laboratory that we would be engineering the smartest AI yet. We slowly pulled up to the gate where 2 armed guards checked the car for explosive devices and reviewed our papers. I heard a loud siren play as the gate opened. There were red lights posted up against the gate's border just flickering. We pulled up to a large front wooden door where a man with a white lab coat appeared within the doorframe. We all got out and proceeded inside where the man showed us where we would be staying. It's probably enough for now. Hitting some edit buttons, hang with me. If anybody's got any jokes, put them in the chat, man.
She offered us all some champagne, and with a drink in our hands, cheers to Alice, with many more to come. During the flight, it was mostly partying a good amount. We were definitely elevated a good amount, surrounded by vegetation. There was a black SUV waiting vegetation. Land. Gary was greeted by the driver of the car, and we all got in. We had to be driving... Whenever I see the word we had to be driving for hours through the long-awaited secret... Whenever I see the long-awaited secret laboratory that we would be engineering the smartest...
The long-awaited secret laboratory!
The long-awaited secret laboratory. Proceeded inside where the man showed us where we would be staying.
All right. PA's in the house. What's up, PA? Yo, yo. Funny you're here. This story will actually go to you. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I've got a lot of catching up to do with collabs, and I think you're next, dude. So this one here, it's called I was recruited to work on an AI. It knew more than we meant to, or something like that. This will be the one that I send to you in the next day, probably. Rose Black. Oh, I meant to say that he has a metric F word ton of stories on his channel. Literally hours worth, but I am here to give smaller channels watch time increase. Oh, jeez, man. Thank you. First of all, you're the best. Second of all, I'm a long ways away from 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours watch time, but you know what? Head starts don't hurt, I suppose. Thank you. PA. I just got done recording 3 stories, editing, and creating in videos. Oh, awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Awesome. Cool. Everyone's on the same page. Flipping back over to the story. Yeah, no, but thanks, Rose, for telling me about Cryptid's Roost, I think is what you said it was. I will check him out. Man, to be honest, before I got into horror narration, like me just individually, it was Let's Read, it was Corpse Husband, a couple of others that I don't remember the names of because I never really like actively sought them out. I just scrolled past them and listened to a few things. But now, like years later, here I am doing it myself, and everyone's like, "You've heard of this dude that's been around for 10 years, right?" And I'm like, "No, man, but let me go check him out." There's a guy named Mr. Nightmare. Another one that just never popped up on my radar until after I started doing narrations. Somebody hit me up and he was like, "You and Mr. Nightmare have like the same kind of vibe from time to time." And so I was like, all right, let me go check out Mr. Nightmare. Has hella subs, bunch of videos. I don't know, dude. Did that story have a point? Yeah. Even though I've been listening for years and doing it for a couple of months, which is still like nothing, I got a lot to learn about the other people that do this too, so I'll get there. All right, PA. Yo, if you got a jet, get some rest, dude. I know you you had a big premiere today, and I think you just wrapped up like a big video too. So rest easy, my friend. Also, what do you say? I'm gonna embarrass myself, but oh, what is it? The void. Once you step into the void, you don't step out. Is that what you say? Let me know. Let me know how bad that was. All right.
And proceeded inside where the man showed us where we would be staying.
He finally showed me my room, upon which I promptly fell asleep at the foot of my bed. The well-deserved sleep was interrupted by 3 sharp knocks. What? Wait, who? Who is it? I asked as I squinted at my watch. Gary, we're here. We are about. Jesus, man. Gary, we're about to go to the eating quarters if you'd like to get some breakfast with us. Damn. Breakfast? I slept through the entire night? I thought it was only a couple of hours. Yeah, I'll meet you guys down there. I'll be 5 minutes. Half asleep, I get out of bed with my clothes from yesterday still on and walk towards my bathroom. I started to look for the handle to turn the shower on, and then a voice spoke from a speaker above my shower. "Hello, Mr. Greensburg. Would you like me to turn the shower on for you?" I was shocked at what I was witnessing. My jaw was open, and I spurted out the words, "Yeah, yes, please, turn the shower on." Just like that, I heard a high tone play 2 piano keys. Just like that, I heard a high tone like 2 piano keys playing. Then my shower turned on. After I got done showering, I headed downstairs toward the eating quarters when I passed a room with glass surrounding the outside. It was this sphere directly in the center of the room, glowing with this blue aura inside, just pulsing. It almost seemed like a heartbeat of some sort. I then heard Grace yell for my name from down the hall. I walked over towards her, and then she showed me to the table where Gary was sitting. It was Gary, Grace, Dan, and I, all working on this together. Grace introduced me to Dan, our network manager. enough of a passage for now. Na 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 na. Editing buttons are cool buttons.
Gary, we're here. We are about. Jesus, man. Gary, we're about to go to the eating. I slept through the. Yeah. Just like that. I heard a high tone. Just like that. I heard a high tone play 2 piano keys playing. Then my shower turned on. After I got done showering, I headed downstairs toward the eating quarters when I passed a room with glass surrounding
the... Nice. PA, there you go. Close enough. It's once you step into... All right, let me drop my register real quick. Once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out. Dude, cool. I hope you don't mind that I did that. I think it's so cool. And secretly, never mind. Forget about that part. Dude, that's cool. All right, thanks for correcting me. I'm glad you did. Electroshocker. Yo, thank you for liking my tweet earlier with the fan art to Let's Read. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Gonna drop a sub. Thanks, Electroshopper. Excuse me, Electroshocker. Sorry about that. Don't unsub for that, please. Yeah, man. Yo, that Let's Read art that you did, I remember you said you like those particular colors. Was it just red and blue, or was it a little bit more like a teal situation? In any case, looked awesome. I almost thought it was like a legit thing that he would post, man. Very cool. Excuse these, like, 5-second pauses from time to time. I'm switching back from looking at the chats to the script on my phone. Takes me a second to get back and forth. All right. So we just met Dan. He's our network manager. Let's see what he's like.
Grace introduced me to Dan, our network manager.
Hey, it's nice to finally meet you, Nick. We shook hands, and I replied, nice to meet you too. I heard you keep this place up and running with those crazy fiber optics you have here. No kidding, that would be me. No kidding, that would be me. I heard you aren't too bad with search engine... search. No kidding, that would be me. I heard you aren't too bad with search engines and the database behind them, huh? I grinned and I said, that's why Gary wants me here, to keep Alice as smart as possible. I got my lunch and sat back down to join in on the conversation. Gary was speaking when I sat down. The only way that would be... I fucked up. The only way that would be possible is if we allowed access to the portal, Dan said. Okay. Well, we only know if we try, right? Grace answered, if Alice could have the potential to do that, then why don't we go further? I interrupted her. What were you guys just discussing? Gary looked over with a smile and he said, we were brainstorming if Alice could potentially simulate this reality within the virtual world. That would be extraordinary. Can I see Alice? I asked. Gary looked around at everyone and said, yes, we are all going over there right now, so follow me. Everyone stood up and walked towards that room I was looking at before. Gary pressed his right hand up against the glass, and on the other side of the glass, I saw it scan his hand, admitting a female voice over the speakers saying, welcome, Mr. Richards. What can I do for you? Do you like how I dropped my voice for the female voice? That was a dumb thing to do. Moving on. He replied, looking at the black sphere in the middle, saying, run a test, Alice. And which test would you like me to run? Mitochondrial DNA test on Mr. Greensburg. As he said this, he shot a glance at me, which I returned with a more shocked expression. Will do, Mr. Richards. I will only need a retinal scan to complete my task. Whoa, cool. This story's getting pretty cool, man. So this guy gets hired on to work at an AI team. He gets flown out private to a remote location that he still doesn't even know where he is. Um, and then him and the team that he's working with finally get to actually see the AI they're working on. They're calling her Alice. And I think he's about to learn what she's capable of. It's pretty cool.
No kidding. That would be me. No kidding? No kidding. That would be me. I heard you aren't too bad here. No kidding. That. I fucked up. The only way that would be possible is if Gary was speaking when I sat down. The only way that would be possible is if we allowed. The only way that would be possible is if we allowed access to the portal, Dan said. Okay. Well, we only know if we the virtual world. That would be extraordinary. What can I do for you? Do you like how I dropped my voice for the Peter Richards? What can I do for you? He replied, look.
Made a lot of mistakes on that pass. Awesome.
Mitochondrial DNA test on Mr. Greensburg. As he said this.
I nailed mitochondrial though on the first try. That was something I was not expecting to do when I first saw that word.
He said this. He shot a glance at me, which I returned with a.
All right, cool. Electroshocker, pink and dark blue. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Now I'm seeing it in my head again, and yeah, it was a little more pink and dark blue. Legit though, dude. They look cool. Electroshocker, that was very different from what I would normally do too. I've been trying extremely hard to master my style and explore new things because I've been stuck in one place. Uh-oh. Sir Creepington Pasta. You're here, man. Cool. What's up, dude? My man, off to bed, but came to see and say it's awesome to see you're doing this live. Cool, man. Yo, first of all, have a good night. Thank you for coming by. Thanks for saying something and letting me know that you're here. I don't have my stream thing set up to see who's here. All I see is like how many people are here. And I'm just relying on you guys to like say hi so that I can call you out by name. Getting back to Electroshocker, cool, man. First, yo, how long have you been like doing this for? And I'm gonna check out your page later so that I can see some of your previous work, because yeah, what I saw today was pretty cool, dude. Awesome. I'm gonna take a Spookaria sippy sip. You guys ever buy like a super expensive whiteboard for your office? It's magnetic, it's glass, it's big. You ever buy one of those and then never use it? Or is that just me? Electroshocker, probably since 2014, but I have most of my stuff unposted. Ah, okay. I am in the works of a website for all of my projects so I can build a portfolio. Good for you, man. You know what, dude? Some people say if you want to be legitimate, you need a website. But then other people are like, nah, I've got Instagram for that. And I've got a following on Twitter and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know which way I lean on that, dude. But good on you for actually making a website and doing the damn thing. Happy for you. Hope it comes out the way you want it to. Gonna flip back to the script. Instagram sucks for outreach though. 100%. 100%. We agree on that, dude. I follow a few creators on Instagram that have from memory, like 40 to 80,000 followers, maybe more by now. And they're like not complaining, but they're just highlighting the fact that like even though they have, for example, 80,000 subscribers, maybe 5,000 or followers, maybe 5,000 followers actually see their posts in their feed, and that's sad, dude. It's like Instagram is very much pay to play right now, and that is, you know, have an opinion on that. We we probably agree. All right. +1 for mitochondrial DNA. Glad that I nailed that.
Will do, Mr. Richards. I will only need a retinal scan to complete my task.
I was confused on just what to do at this point. Then Grace came up to me with her phone. I was confused on just what to do at this point. Then Grace came up to me with her phone out, taking a picture of my eye. She continued to press her thumbs on her phone until the blue pulsing stopped, replacing it with an orange flickering light that began at a slow rate to a fast strobe light effect. The luminescent orange color filled the room after Alice said, Dr. Greensburg is 27% European, 16% falls into Iberian 16% falls into Iberian Peninsula, and 5% falls into European Jewish, 60% Native American, 4% African, 1% Pacific Islander, and 1% West Asia. I was in utter disbelief that this computer just figured out where I came from with the... Fumble. Don't put me in the NFL, man. I'll fuck it up. I was in utter disbelief that this computer just figured out where I came from with a single picture of my eye. I looked over to Gary, who was laughing at this point. How did Alice find out my DNA through a picture of my eye? He says, we've loaded Alice with enough pictures, samples, lab reports, anything you can think of that has to do with your eyes and how it's connected through the portal. I asked, what's the portal? Dan answered by telling me this. I have Alice on a separate fiber network that we call the portal. The portal is to keep Alice inside, including all the information she knows. It's a lot easier to keep a watch over security and network tests when we programmed and designed her into one network, which we call the portal. I nodded, and then I asked, let me ask her a question. Gary gestured for me to do just that. I said, Alice, what's my mother's name? The orange, steady light shifted towards a flashing version now, just like before. Your mother's name is... Okay. Your mother's name is Kara Eleanor Greensburg. I shouted off another question. Can life exist outside of Earth? The light blinked as Alice processed the question. Life outside of Earth is inevitable. The life you live now is occurring in a multiverse within space, far from what we can see. The only way to access this universe is through the atomic... Fuck that up. The only way to access... Taking a break after this one. The only way to access this universe is through the atomic passageway, which only takes place every 1.243 million light years. Woo! Sometimes I get all hyped up and I'm holding my phone in front of my face and my arms get tired. Cool. Yeah, I don't know. My shoulders get tired from holding my phone up, man, because I've got the script on my phone and it's like I'm holding it up at eye level so I can record at the same time. Excuses.
And Grace came up to me with her phone. I was confused on just what to do at this point. I was confused.
Da 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 da.
Confused on just what to... Replacing it, the luminescent orange color, 16% falls into Iberian 16% falls into Iberian Peninsula, and 5%...
I've got to find a way, because the AI actually speaks in this story, and I've got to find a way to filter the effect on my voice so that it sounds like a computer AI. That'll be fun to figure out later. Wish me luck.
I was in utter disbelief that this computer just... I was in utter disbelief that this computer just... I was in utter disbelief that this computer just... figured out where. How did Alice find out my DNA? I said, Alice's mother's name is. Okay. Your mother's name is Kara Eleanor Greensburg. Out of Earth like before. Your mother's name is.
Oh, jeez. Get out of there.
The light blinked as Alice. Can life exist outside of Earth? The light blinked. Can life exist outside of Earth? The light blinked as Alice processed the question. Life outside of Earth is inevitable. Life outside of Earth is inevitable. The life you live now is occurring in a multi we can see. The only way to access this universe is through the atomic. Fuck that up. The only way to access this universe. The only way to access this universe is through the atomic. Fuck that.
Do. Uh-oh. PA. Yo, if you're still here, dude, this story's going to be well over 10 minutes. I may have to pick another one for you. Because I'm already at the 11, almost 12-minute marker, and I've probably got half the script done so far. Sorry, dude. Electroshocker. High key, though, it's always been pay to play. I mean, just like Facebook, there is an option to pay for posts to get more publicity. Of course, yes, there is. And the only shot to get real recognition is through popular users. Ah, man. That's a shame. That seems to be how it is for almost everybody, dude. Yeah.
Which only takes place every million light years.
Yo, Electro, did you hear that, like, the CEO of Instagram came out a few weeks ago and he's like, yo, Instagram is no longer a photo sharing app. And then a few days later he backpedaled and he's like, no, well, I mean, you can still share photos. You can still do that, but there's also video. So a lot of, like, photographers and I don't know what you would call yourself, but, like, digital designers, digital graphic artists. I know I'm messing that up, but I'm sorry. But anyways, photographers, people that specialize in photographs or pictures, they're moving to Twitter. Because first of all, Instagram's reach is actually ridiculous, bad. And Twitter has a lot more natural, organic engagement, and you can actually. Somebody pointed out that you can actually put 4 photos in a Twitter post, and all 4 photos will see. They'll crop them down a little bit and blah blah blah. But like, you can't do that on Instagram. You can do the carousel, of course, but the person has to actually take the time to scroll through, and not everybody does. But if you're just cruising through Twitter and you see 4 like banger photos from somebody, that's going to get your attention. Digital media guy. That makes sense. Digital media guy. That makes me think of Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy movie. Free Guy. Free Guy meets digital media guy. Okay. Okay.
Which only takes place every 1.243 million light years.
I lost my spot. Here we go. Let's do the dang thing then.
Which only takes place every 1.243 million light years.
We were all very surprised by what Alice just said. The feeling in this room went from excitement to fear of the unknown. We all now understood the processing power and the intelligence. We all now understood the processing power and the intelligence levels of this machine. Gary said in a soft tone, "We should be careful about what we ask. There is always an answer. We should be careful about what we ask. There is always an answer. We just might not like what we get." I gotta read that again. There is always an answer. We just might not like what we get. Grace asked a question now. She said, Alice, what is the meaning of life? It took less than a second for Alice to answer. She said, the meaning of life is not what I tell you. It is for only what you make out of it. The meaning of life is not what I tell you. It is for only what you make out of it. This was a weird glitch, I thought, because it wasn't an artificial answer. It was more of an emotional response. I asked, Alice, what do you think of emotion? Alice went from an orange blinking light to a pink color. The light pulsated as she spoke. I, as an AI, do not have an opinion about emotion. I am beginning to learn what emotion is from you all. The way you speak to one another, the way your facial expressions change, the way you stand. I can read and process all of this information to get a better aspect of what emotion is. Gary said, thank you, Alice. We are all system updates. Thank you, Alice. Fuck. Gary said, yo. I was in the zone and then I lost the zone. I think I might finish up these edit buttons, make sure I didn't mess anything up, and then start winding this baby down.
We all now understood the processing power and the intelligence levels of this machine. Gary said in a... We should be careful of... There is always an answer said in a soft machine. We should be careful about what we ask. We should be careful about what we ask. There is always an answer, we just might not like what we get. There is always an answer. We just might not like what we get. Meaning of life. It took less than a second for Alice to...
Yo, want to know something I love? Dude was like, yo, we should be careful about what we ask because we might not like the answer. And then immediately Grace was like, what's the meaning of life? Sure.
We just might not like what we get. Grace asked a question now. She said, Alice, what is the meaning of life? It took less than a second for... It is for only what you make out of it. It is for only what you make out of it. The meaning of life is not what I tell you. It took less than a second for Alice to answer. She said, the meaning of life is not... She said, the meaning of life is not what I tell you. It is for only... This was a weird glitch. It wasn't an artificial... I asked, Alice went from an orange... I, as an AI, do not have the way your facial expression better. I can read and process all of this information to get a better what emotion is. Gary said, thank you, Alice. We are all system updates. Thank you, Alice. Fuck. Gary said, you stand. I can read and process all of this information to get a better aspect of what emotion is.
All right. Yo. That's like, I'm pretty sure this is half of the story. Let me just scroll through the rest of the script. No, I'm probably like maybe 60, 70% of the way done, but dudes, I'm calling it a night, man. Sometimes you just don't have a good reading night. Sometimes words are hard. Sometimes you can be a voiceover artist, a voice actor, a horror narrator on YouTube, and sometimes you just don't know how to read all of a sudden. That's me right now. Anyways, PA, if you're still here, yeah, brother, this is going to be a 20-minute video. If that's too long for you, please tell me, and I will save this for another occasion and work on something especially for you that's in the range we agreed on. Electra Shocker, thanks for hanging out for as long as you did, man. MCT, hello, hello, hello. Thanks everybody for stopping in. I'm going to cut this stream any second now, but before I do, there's one more thing that I want to say. And that's, you can be whoever you want to be.